only have 3 minutes to quote draft number 11 of this poem. And the moment I walk off stage, I drown out your applauses with the configurations of draft number 12, and it's funny. I often feel like an unfinished draft of God. Less like a final and more like draft 109, my stout stature reads an edit that he gave up on in draft 87. The moles on my hands should be question marks the way I blatantly question his judgment. I know that they are not periods because I can't be finished yet. And as a child, I was certain that God's spell check broke when my name was chosen. Shavante sounded like a curse that slipped Satan's tongue. It was a curse when I was young to be looked at during roll call as ghetto and dumb. And I tried to understand him. Understand my comprehension. So since the age where I was able to comprehend what adequate is, I knew that adequate would always be the suffix of what I am, a fraction of me. My parents both gave it an adequate fraction of me. My father plays his bass guitar in his room, and the calluses on his hands used to come from strumming those strings. Now they come from building stairs that he will never climb because of his lack of ambition. My mother hides her notebook under the stockings of her top drawers. If the sheer material can mask her feelings the same way they mask the brightness and freckles of her legs, she supports my dreams, but has only read one of my poems, and I fear that she feels less adequate because she chose the foul papers. And me, I treat my life like the poems in my Google Drive, trying to mold the components for the perfect 19-year-old with the same strategies I used to compact the slam poem into 3 minutes. But I cannot erase adolescent calories that have left their marks on my arms and sides like crumb trails from snack rolls and hostess cakes. I can try and edit my mistakes by running 4 miles a day and grading my body in the shower, scrubbing, trying to rid myself of the God-given insecurities that are supposed to humble me. He's landing me in the phones of men who mock me and pretend to be as hurt as me with lies etched on the lines of their irises, hands pressed on the pillows of my memory foam waist. I remember every single one of those untitled and low-key commitments. Lamont and EJ and Quan and Joseph and Ashley tells me that that's all I'm worth. It's easy for me to pick myself apart in front of a mic, but hard to feed you inspirational lines that are on the borderline of hallmark and cliche, because at the end of the day, I am just a poet who came from the closet right into the stage screaming, fuck the scores and competition, when acceptance and recognition is all the reason why I revise. And I'll stare in the crowd, avoiding your eyes, asking you to judge me. Because only God can judge me, but lately God isn't enough, and it's getting a little hard for me to pretend that I'm this tough, and it should reassure me that I was made in His image, but does that mean that He's imperfect? See, I just really need Him to be perfect, because maybe then that means that I'm not worthless. If He finishes this draft of me, this poem, maybe it's been 3 minutes.